Eva, and welcome back.
Hi, Alina. Nice to see you.
We are sort of just preparing for the holiday season these days, and all of us were very much accustomed to Christmas fairs and to Christmas parties that were part of our usual way of spending the holidays. So we were very accustomed to some rituals, and some habits were very strong within our traditions and our way of interacting with other people, especially with our families and our close friends. And this year, things look pretty much different than the years before. And these rituals and these traditions are needing to be treated differently. To what extent do you think that these traditions and these ways of spending holidays will be more of a challenge for us all, or how we can transform these times in dealing with this Christmas season differently?
Yeah, thank you. I guess I first want to address that I find ritual a very important ingredient, a very important element as a fabric of community, as a fabric of a culture, as a fabric of honoring certain times, certain seasons, certain events. And I guess when you have more obstacles, more challenges, like I don't know where, the situation where you are, but in Germany, I think we're right now talking about having two families or two households being able to come together, and a certain amount of people and not more, which is already a limitation. For example, when I think about my family, then we have 4 different households. So the question is it possible to come together as a family for Christmas? But with this, with having limitations, I also feel there's a possibility to really look more deeply into the rituals that you usually have and kind of look at them and sense the importance of them. Why am I doing what am I doing usually, and how is that serving a really important purpose? For example, I was looking at different things that I do in the season, and for me, we have something that's called an Advent wreath, which is a circle. It's usually a tree circle, and has 4 candles, and then it has decoration. And beginning every Sunday, 4 weeks before Christmas, and we usually celebrate Christmas Eve, so it's the 24th, the evening of 24th. Other countries usually celebrate the 25th. So in German culture, it's usually the evening of 24th, and then we have first Christmas Day and second Christmas Day. But the 4 Sundays before that, we light a candle, and all of it. And I noticed I've been using, I've been doing a Christmas wreath for years. And then a couple of years ago, I was talking to my flower artist around the corner, and I asked him, do you know the story, the details about the Advent wreath? Because all of these things have meaning, and sometimes we do things and we don't even know the deeper meaning. And so he gave me his knowing, and he said it's the circle, which means the eternity. There's no beginning, there's no end. It's a circle, so it's the eternity of life. Green is the color of hope. And then the candles that you are lighting every Sunday, so with 4 weeks before Christmas is the first candle, and then the next weekend you do 2 candles, and then there's 3, and then there's 4. And it actually represents the growing light, the eternal light, which I find really nice. So knowing about the background, the meaning of something that I did many years, but now using it with more choice and with a deeper understanding, I realized Advent wreath is really important to me, and I take my time to prepare that. So for example, when we're closing today, I will go to my flower store and I will get my candles, and I will take my time to prepare this wreath for this Sunday. We also have a tradition that's called Advent calendar, and it's usually for the kids so that they can open the door from the 1st till the 24th, and it's a way of counting down until, either way, we call it Christmas Kind, which means that Christ child is coming, or some people are talking about the Santa Claus. So depending on the tradition, we talk about Christ, the baby of Christ coming, and we count down from the 1st to the 24th. And this tradition is having a little surprise every day you open. And I like this tradition. And what I've been doing is for myself to translate this time to really mindfully use this time of creating little surprises for people that are really close and dear to me. So rather than just doing something and buying this calendar and giving it away, I'm really focusing my attention to do something that will have more meaning and more interconnectedness and relationship building and bonding. Because for me, this time is time for the family, time for relationships, time for the friendship. And because I think it has two sides, as you said. Either way, rituals, we do them in a certain time period, and then it creates pressure. And then I was like, oh, I got to get this, I got to get this. And then you feel like you're really stressed because you want to make all these things happen, to do it right. And then there's pressure. But we can now also look at the limitations and really look deeply, what has what meaning and what is important to me, and how do I want to make use of it so it's in my service, it's in my interest, and it does something well for me and for other people in our way of connecting, rather than adding stress to a very stressful time anyways. So I like to look at the meanings and then make a clear, intentional choice to use certain activities and rituals so that it helps me to look at my loved ones with a moment of appreciation, connection, pause, and create a positive moment, I guess.
Mm-hmm. We used to have this Christmas shopping time where everybody was going from one store to another, and it was like a whole month of hectic activities and lots of people everywhere. And this year, at least, it will be a lot different. And as we were speaking about rituals in an interesting way, as you were saying, that sometimes the essence of the ritual is forgotten or misunderstood.
Yeah.
Because actually not so many people know anymore what we actually celebrate on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. we pretty much related this holiday with Christmas presents
Yeah.
and Christmas meal, and that
Yeah.
was that was about everything that we were referring to during these days. And maybe it's also an opportunity for us all to reconsider how we see these rituals and what importance do we give to those rituals. Because throughout time and civilization, people used rituals for very specific reasons,
Yes.
and they gave those rituals very clear meanings, and they were correlated with the seasons, with the passing of seasons, with different astrological times and events. And it's no coincidence that so many traditions celebrate different things during this time of the year. So from maybe Thanksgiving to Christmas to Hanukkah, Ramadan, and other holidays that are specific for different traditions throughout the world, somehow place us as humans in specific situations where we have to give our attention to something that is beyond our daily attention, our
Yeah.
daily habits, let's say, our everyday existence. How important do you think that rituals are to somehow give us a meaning beyond our daily activities, our mundane, let's say, preoccupations?
Hmm. You know, Alina, I loved what you said before, and to connect to what you said, I believe that rituals with intention, like really giving them a clear intention and focusing our on really clear attention, to me is very meaningful, is really important. And it does, maybe these times are actually helping us to be a little bit less distracted, to be a little bit less stressed, and you know, have less things to focus our attention at the same time, and really create a very clear understanding, as I said before, why are we giving each other a present, you know, and how do we want to really transmit that. I mean, I had a conversation with my family where I said I would like us to have the freedom, if there's something really special, maybe something little as a symbolic present to give to each other, to do so. But if but also, if there's nothing you're really finding that is connected to a meaning, then let it go. I don't think we just need to buy something to have something. I feel there's so much pressure and stress in order to find the right present and have lots of them. And I rather not get one on Christmas, but maybe somebody of my family finds something that they find very much in connection to me another day that is a random day. And that's a good day to say, hey, I thought about you and I wanted to give my presence through this present, so that, you know, with this little object or with this letter or whatever I do, that I really thought about you, and it's something that I know that you would really enjoy. So it helps us to connect in a different, profound way. So I actually opened that conversation in my family, that I would like to change the game of the Christmas presents a little bit, so it's not as much stress and pressure, and we can enjoy each other a little bit more. I also we used to have this tradition that we had our dinner before, and then we would open the presents, and somehow what happened was everybody was giving each other the presents, and then we opened them at the same time. And I kind of like felt, oh, where am I looking and what's happening? And I said, is it possible that we considered so much to give to the other, to give a nice present, to give you some pleasure, or let you know I really thought about you. Can we enjoy each other by opening the presents? So it's a little bit more of a celebration and a little bit more time. And we did change that. We did change that. One is opening the present at one time, and then we can observe, and it just takes a little bit more time. The other thing too is, because we were just talking about Thanksgiving. This Thursday is actually Thanksgiving, and it's a big tradition in especially in the United States. So my American friends are doing a usually big Thanksgiving dinner. And I was really thinking about, what is the message of Thanksgiving? It's not the turkey, it's not the stuffing, it's not the food, but it's more, and we have the German tradition, which is called Erntedankfest. So we're thanking the fruits of the earth. We're thinking that Mother Earth is giving us fruits so that we have food. So it's a gratitude day for us too. And I took that to heart a couple of years ago, where I said, what is the meaning really of Thanksgiving? And it is about being grateful for what we have and the fruits that we are getting and that we're sharing. And I take it literal, from the fruits of the earth, but also the fruits that we share with each other as human beings, if we are meaningful for each other. And I began to write little notes, or call up friends, or send little audio messages, or something along those lines, to let other people know, I'm grateful that you are in my life because, and then I added different attributes or different experiences that I have with these people, and why I'm grateful that they are in my life. And without them, I wouldn't have these experiences. So sharing my gratitude that I have for them, and make them explicit. And it's been a really nice way of marking the day for me. So I find when we know the meaning of a ritual, when we make it our own, like, what does that mean to me today in an updated version that will best serve me and how I want to show up as a person, in my family, in my community, in my field, in my professional field, then I can use a ritual in a version that will best represent my way of expressing, for example, gratitude, or my way of expressing how to celebrate this pre-Christmas season, and how I like to decorate my house to really get into the mood for that, or different things. So if we make it from the universal of the meaning, subjectively personal, important, and we know about our own messages, and then put them in action, I think that's can be very meaningful, very helpful, and almost like a really nice meditation to change our inner state, so that we can lift our everyday's habitual ways of being into a very different quality of attention, I guess, and quality of presence. And I find that very helpful.
Mm-hmm. And maybe holidays are opportunities for us to practice different rituals that we can actually implement in our life as daily practices, so that we don't just act like that during the holiday season, but somehow make it a usual habit of, I don't know, being appreciative and grateful for somebody's presence in our lives, or for something that we get as a gift or as anything. So we can use these um, practices that are very glamorously prepared for the big holidays throughout the year, and little by little, maybe not all at once, but little by little, take them and bring them to more and more to our daily lives and daily interactions. And as you said, and I find it so beautiful, that if we somehow see our actions as rituals and give them a specific clear intention and a very clear awareness of what we are doing and why we are doing and with what purpose and from what energy, then maybe our daily lives can benefit from those rituals.
Yeah. Yeah, I love what you just say, and I think the big word is why. Why am I doing what am I doing? The other one is also do it with a clear intention, so that there's an inner knowing and inner understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how is that serving a deeper purpose of expressing my own self. And yeah, I also love how you said that rituals that are marking specific moments or specific times can be almost like an anchor or a reminder that we can then maybe apply into our daily lives even more. And I see it that way too. It's like, and like what I said about the gratitude from Thanksgiving Day, I did use that as a marker and then integrated that into my life a lot more, to not just sense when something is happening that I am happy about or I'm grateful for, but letting other people know about it, that I am noticing that right now. So express it more. And I think that really came from that ritual that I then translated more into exchanging appreciation notes, either way, written or verbal, and letting other people know about my inner process. And I think that is really helping to create, in sometimes very difficult circumstances, a more lightful and more positive climate, a more positive, warm experience between us. I was just teaching in Stuttgart, and it was really interesting. There was this one woman who said, and she had a pretty serious phase. I was working for the facility management industry to deliver my yearly trainings on soft skills about leadership and communication. And she said, Frau Wiebrecht, I have a question for you. And I said, okay, what is the question? And she said, are you ever in a bad mood? I don't believe so. And then the next person on the other side said, yes, I think she's right. You're never in a bad mood, are you? And if so, I want to know how you do that. And it was really funny. It was like, oh, okay, so I guess you see me like I'm in a pretty good mood. That's nice to know. And I said, let me think about it. I guess it is quite hard for me to put myself in a really seriously bad mood. I tend to go and look for possibilities quite quickly. And I said, I guess I do that with intention, because I clearly made this commitment to myself at some point that I would like to be a positive climate, a positive environment, not just for myself, but also for other people I encounter. And with that commitment, I also have this little practice that I said I'd do, because I wanted to address this question from this other woman who said, and how do you do that? And I said, well, thanks for asking. And I said, my little ritual is the following. I have this idea in my mind that I hope that every encounter I have with whatever person, known or unknown, taxi driver, bakery store person, or friends, that when we have come together, that hopefully after our connection, life is just a little bit nicer than it was before. And how could I do my positive share to this encounter? So it's a question about for myself, or a little puzzle that I'm asking myself. Is it possible that with whoever I meet and I have an exchange, that through my way of bringing myself forward, can I bring this, my share, to make this moment just a little bit nicer than it was before? And it's a little challenge that I put in myself through. I'm not saying that I'm always successful, but it's a little challenge that I'm asking myself. And I find it actually a quite delightful challenge, because there were a number of moments where it felt like it was possible that after we both felt better than before.
Yeah, and I can be a witness of that, and I want to thank you for that. So you have one confirmation from me. So
Thank you.
and I'm sure that also the ones that were listening to our conversations are pretty much on the same page with me on this. So thank you very much for your presence and for everything that you shared, and we'll surely see you next time.
Yes, and then I will have done some cookies, because that's part of my ritual during the season too, to bake some cookies with my godchildren, Christmas cookies.